Emergency services are trained to expect the unexpected. Each day presents different challenges, and the only certainty is that no two shifts will be the same. Tonight, police hunt for a teenage buck-toothed bird basher.
Oh, did they actually hit a bird?
Ambulance race to help a man who's been assaulted with a sawhorse.
I'm just going to squish around your head, OK?
And a mother's plea for help disciplining her kids sparks a massive search and rescue operation. That's one night in Auckland responding to 111. An unusual emergency call is coming into the police communications centre.
Police emergency.
These girls brain damage to a bird.
What did they do to the bird?
They threw like bricks on it.
Right, and do you know these girls?
Oh yeah, but I don't know their names.
What do they look like?
Oh, one of them has got a black band on their head. The other one's got buck teeth.
Brett dispatches constables Sam and Rob.
It's got two female duties throwing bricks in the skate park area, throwing them at pigeons and other birds. Got one female Maori, 15 years approximately.
Just going to run to Kennington
They
Drive.
black headbands. Only further description is bad buck teeth.
Bad buck
Coded
teeth.
at 2Y.
So are they throwing bricks at birds, or has there been any property damage or like?
It's no mention of property damage at this stage.
Roger. You got to be really good to hit a bird with a brick.
Constables Matt and Dan begin their shift with an unpleasant but necessary job.
You're able to get the mortuary keys.
Need to receive a body. Over.
A man has suddenly dropped dead from unknown causes, which means a post-mortem will need to be conducted.
At the moment, we're at the Mortuary at Auckland Hospital. This is where the deceased people that the coroner's going to see in the morning turn up. It has to be a police officer that receives the body. There's like a chain of evidence with all deceased persons, and that's why it has to be a police officer that does it.
The task involves coming face-to-face with death.
We strip the body if it's clothes, get it ready for the coroner by putting it on a trolley, and then we book it into the fridge, fill out a bit of paperwork, and then we lock it away. It's not the nicest job in the world, but unfortunately it's got to be done.
And then it's back on patrol. Sam and Rob are approaching the scene of the bird bashing.
Oh, did they actually hit a bird?
And now they're all
Oh, yeah, they've got a bird as well. Get out of here.
Having a big argument about it.
What's there happening?
These local kids called 111 after witnessing the attack.
Is the bird hurt at all?
Can't even stand up.
They said no, leave it alone. And they said, and then they just started. They said, come, let's go kill the
Can only hear one at a time, guys.
One of the girls said, let's go kill the brain.
Although you've done a good thing, eh, in keeping them warm.
Yeah,
So that's good. Is it? So you're staying cold, but the seagull's staying warm.
Auckland's heavy traffic tests the patience of even the calmest drivers. Constables Bobson and Jag are alerted to a case of road rage by police dispatcher Paddy.
Victor Carvey, currently the drivers are arguing. They're just southbound before the bridge.
Two cars crashed on Puckering Road just before the Waipuno Bridge, or the bridge towards Camille. And apparently they're having an argument of some sorts, but it's deteriorating. So let's with these people, just go over chat.
Right, did you guys call police?
There's no sign of any violence, but one fuming motorist caught up in the four-car pile-up is keen to make sure police know exactly who's to blame.
This lady in the black cap, she started moving over on me into a gap which didn't exist. I mean, had she waited for the vehicle to turn right and then proceeded, there would not have bbeen any problem.
Yeah. There's not really much I can say, because all I saw was they were cutting into the left lane in front of me.
Yeah.
And all I did was my reaction just stop, and then I hit the back of that car.
The Subaru hit me, and then this vehicle hit the Subaru.
Everyone's blaming the same woman driver, so police need to decide whether to charge her. Sam and Rob are hunting for the buck-toothed bird basher.
can't believe she actually hit the bird. I know, yeah.
584837.
Comms M97. If you can advise animal control to go to the medical centre just by Palmer's Road, we've just got the team there with the bird, and we're just going to head off to Kennington Drive to see if we can find the suspect.
We've got a couple of seagulls that have been attacked at a skate park in Palmer's Road, Glendon.
Yep.
A couple of juvies have been throwing bricks at them.
Oh, yeah, good on them.
I was wondering if there's any chance of getting someone to go out and have a look at them.
OK, I'll see what I can do.
Criminal profiling shows cruelty to animals often progresses to violence against people. This needs to be investigated.
Where have you just come from, ma'am?
From Clendon?
From Clendon, around the skate park area, was it?
No, the youth.
The youth?
But we've been here
okay.
for ages, for a while.
OK. What's been happening, though?
Nothing.
OK. We've just been pointed to this house, and in particular been directed to you as someone that's been hurting a seagull with a stick.
It's not us.
It is. Isn't it, ma'am?
No, it was this little boy.
All we want to do is just get the truth, guys, at the end of the day, eh? So rather that you talk straight with me and...
Oh, no, yeah, it wasn't us.
You did, eh? Yeah. Not too cool, eh? Hurting animals. It's cool. Hey, is it all right if we pop inside, just get out of the rain, guys? Happy for us to come in, we'll just get details and go from there.
Yep.
Trying to establish what happened with the girls in there. Their excuse was that they saw a bird with its head bobbing around, so they were trying to kill it. I said to them, if you're on the ground getting knocked out, I wouldn't try and kill you, so it's obviously not the smart thing to do. We've warned them. At this stage, we're undecided if we're going to put it through to youth aid. I guess we'll leave it pending what health the bird is.
Back in Pakuranga, Bobson has decided to fine the driver of the black car that caused the 4-car pileup.
So I'm going to give you a fine for dangerously change of lane, all right? And that's the whole action. There's no more action, all right? You won't have to go to court or anything.
So what's the fine you're going to do?
It's only $150 for dangerous change of lane.
The driver's husband hopes Jag can explain.
ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਬ੍ਰੇਕ ਲਾਈ ਉਹ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਵਜ੍ਹਾ ਨਾਲ ਲਾਈ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਇਹ ਥੋੜੀ ਜਿਹੀ ਇੱਧਰ ਨੂੰ ਆ ਗਏ ਸੀਗੇ
ਯਾਰ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਕਿੰਨੇ ਤੱਕ ਸ਼ੂਟ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ
I was speaking Punjabi with the couple. The driver of the black car couldn't speak English, like proper English. I thought it was better to speak in Punjabi and get the story.
Saturday is the busiest day of the week for the fire service, and Auckland's Fire Communications Centre is fielding multiple emergency calls.
Where's your emergency?
It's in Cobb & Co in Ronwood Ave in Manukau City.
And what's happening there?
Well, we just saw fire coming out of the top of the building. We're in the car, we're just driving by.
Tanya prepares for the worst.
Papatoe 347, Manurewa 301, Papatoe 344, neon sign on fire, 1 Ronwood Avenue, near Sharkey Street, Manukau.
In the Papatoetoe truck, Senior Station Officer Alex and his crew are first to approach the scene.
It's just up the road, we'll see it soon. Might pay to get an extinguisher, we'll see how big it is.
Saturday is also the busiest day of the week for many restaurants, and if the fire spreads to the packed dining area, it could be disastrous.
Nah.
Above the common side.
Oh, yeah, it's too high for the extinguisher. Get a high pressure.
Most restaurant fires start in the kitchen, but there's no blaming the chef for this blaze.
We've got to get a ladder.
The threat of spreading flames means the restaurant must be evacuated immediately. Things are not looking good for the battered seagull, and it's up to Constable Hayden to break the news to the kids who rescued it.
And what's happened is we've called the animal control, which are like the hospital for animals sometimes. It's going to be a long time for them to come and help the bird. And because he's very, very hurt, they won't be able to save him. So what we're going to do is we're just going to help him on his way to heaven and put the bird out of his misery.
How are you going to help him to heaven?
That might just involve me just using a little bit of force. It's not very nice seeing a bird like this, is it?
No.
Doesn't make you very happy about the people who did it, does it?
Cobb & Co restaurant has been evacuated, and until Alex gives the all clear, the hungry patrons have to abandon their ham steaks.
We're making sure there's no possibility of it spreading or reigniting.
Okay.
And as soon as possible, I'll give you the okay to get them back in.
Okay.
Shouldn't be long now.
No. The crew works so quickly, the diner's meals don't have time to cool.
That's his run. Yeah, okay. I'll pass that on. Can you let him back? Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. It looked like the fire had ran up a cable from a transformer up there and melted the sign and caught fire to the sign. The fire's extinguished. We'll be packing up and leaving. That was an easy one.
It's time for the kids to say goodbye to their feathered friend.
I just want to thank you guys, right? You guys did the right thing, and not everybody does that. If you guys want to jump out and give the bird one more pat before we go.
Okay.
Good job, guys.
The seagull will be helped on its way away from innocent eyes. St John Emergency Medical Dispatcher Mandy responds to a 111 call about a vicious assault.
Code 4, R26 on scene.
She dispatches Chris and Janelle.
Details, we've got 3 males who are fighting. Apparently one of them has got a cut to his head and the police are already there.
En route to the assault, they pass the Papatoetoe fire units responding to an emergency call-out to a South Auckland school. The school's automatic fire alarm system has been activated. Alex and his crew need to establish whether it's a genuine emergency or a false alarm.
Have we got a key holder coming already, over?
Yeah, affirmative. Looks like it's a privately monitored alarm system. We've had a walk around the building, an external search around the building to see if we can see any flames or smoke, which we can't. Well, we can see in most of that anyway. If we did, we would have broken in. We'll probably just wait here until the key holder arrives.
Chris and Janelle are approaching the boarding house where a man was assaulted. Police have gone in first to make sure it's safe.
He's had a wooden building horse thrown at him.
Oh, okay.
And it's, bonked him on the head.
The offenders have fled. While police focus on interviewing drunk and uncooperative witnesses,
Hi there.
Chris and Janelle have got their work cut out with an equally drunk patient.
I'm just going to squish around your head, okay, just to see if it's any damage there. Did you get knocked out? So you remember everything? All right, we're just going to pop this dressing on. We'll have to take you to hospital because they'll probably have to stitch that or glue that up, okay?
Sometimes the hardest part of the job is getting people to understand just how serious their injuries are.
I'm all right. No, you have to go to hospital. That's a very big wound in your head. It can get very infected and then that will cause heaps more problems, okay?
If you could see it, it's about as long as my finger and it's split open, okay? So no plaster's going to put that back together.
Let's get you in the back of the ambulance, okay?
Advanced paramedic Paul manages to convince the man that he needs to go to hospital.
He's basically got a severe laceration to the top of his head. We don't know whether he's been knocked out. He's also influenced by alcohol by the looks of it. So he needs to go to hospital for neuro observations as well as to get that wound cleaned and stitched.
The job details.
Not every call to 111 is a life or death emergency. Some people want help with simple things, like disciplining their children.
The informant's asking for assistance
with her 2 teenage
sons, 17 and 15 years old. They've set up camp at a vacant section.
I've got a two-part job, which is a public relations job. A woman's called in. Her 2 sons have left the home address and set up camp on a nearby vacant lot and refused to go home. She should be grateful.
Mark and Silau are confident they can sort this out quickly.
They're meant to have the tent and just have a fun afternoon within the tent, and I didn't realise they're going to stay there all night and not come back home.
Okay. Is it a big deal if they stay down there?
Because one of them is 15.
So you want them returned home?
Yeah.
By force if necessary?
What do you mean by that?
If we have to drag them back, we drag them back.
Yeah,
Or do you not want that to happen? What I want from you is clear instructions.
You need to bring him up, yes.
But when Silau and Mark see the size of the vacant lot, the task of bringing the boys home suddenly seems more daunting.
As you know, when we spoke to the lady at the top of the road, she has no idea where these kids are because she hasn't ventured down here. So yeah, it's a bit of a mission at this stage.
A simple public relations job looks set to escalate into a full-scale search and rescue operation. Dispatcher Muffy calls in the police chopper, Eagle.
Eagle, copy.
I got the idea that there's a couple of kids camping in Shadow Rise in a bush.
HAA 68, that's a little bit dense and hard to find them. If you could do a flyover for them.
To the unsuspecting teenagers, Eagle's spotlight looks like something out of Close Encounters and sends them scattering right into the path of police. Finally, the firefighters can enter the school. There's no sign of flames or smoke, so Alex and his crew need to find out what triggered the alarms.
Well, them two are intact.
They have to check each unit.
That's intact, the other one's intact. Can somebody come round and turn these bells off? Looks like another false alarm. That's the third one tonight.
Janelle and Chris are taking their assault patient to hospital. He has a nasty gash on his head after being attacked with a wooden sawhorse.
You're not sure what day it is today, are you?
Janelle checks for concussion or memory loss.
Give it a good guess.
Maybe 27.
It's 27?
Yeah.
Is that the date today?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I had to think about it for a second. Do you know what day it is, though? Good on you, that's it. How much did you say you had to drink again?
More than a dozen.
More than a dozen beer?
You see, there's wine.
Wine? Oh, that's trouble already, eh? Mixing up your alcohols.
Yeah.
Just putting some stickers on your chest, okay? Just gonna have a look at your heart because it's going a little bit fast at the moment. Have you had anything else tonight? Leave that on there. Stop looking at it. Just leave that thing on there. It looks fine, but it's quite big, okay? It's a bit bigger than Chris told you before.
His memory might be fine, but a marathon drinking session has left this patient dazed and confused.
I find that when people have had as much alcohol as he had, it's very difficult to reason with them. The biggest concern is future infection in that kind of situation, and that can cause no end of problems for the person.
The hunt for teenagers hiding in a vacant lot has turned up a surprise for police. Eagle's spotlight has flushed out 2 girls and 2 boys.
What have you been up to?
I was just having camp off my mate.
Where's your camp now?
But they aren't the boys they're looking for.
Complex 006.
Go ahead.
The group will run when Eagle came. We're just missing 2 at the moment.
Their parents think they're staying at a friend's place, not at the bottom of a little gully, and a tent laying on the ground with a few bottles of alcohol with them.
The 2 boys whose mum called police are still missing. The fact they've been drinking and could be lost in dense bush means police will have to step up the search. Trouble is simmering in downtown Auckland. On Karangahape Road, Graham and Andrew come across a party bus from South Auckland. Its 50 passengers are too drunk to get into bars and they're refusing to get back on the bus.
Transit priority.
Go ahead.
Yeah, can we get a few more units up to these party buses and just to keep these crowds back?
Roger. Can we get any units up to K Road? And just assist Grafton. Party buses in the area. Okay, 222.
Constables Nell and Matt respond to Bridget's call.
AK-122 com. Roger, yeah, we're 10-7.
There's 3 cars up there dealing with the party buses.
Police colours tomorrow.
Move on.
Time to go, move.
It's got potential to just get out of hand really quickly. I think we've got a couple of people locked up already, but at the end of the day, we just want to get people back on the bus and out here because it's going to end in tears.
Constable Graham knows it's the women they need to convince first.
He's that far away from getting locked up, you understand? They probably respect them a lot more than us, and yeah, they listen to the girls, and they've done a fantastic job for us. We've gone and told them that if they don't look after their guys, they're going to get locked up. That's provided emphasis for them basically to go and get them on the bus, get them out of trouble, get out of town.
Finally, the bus heads home.
It's unfortunate that that driver took them into town when obviously they're all way too intoxicated to even get into any of the bars. So, you know, they're only going to mill around outside, which is just going to cause problems.
Police have called for reinforcements to help them hunt for 2 teenagers still missing in a vacant lot.
The other unit that's pulled up to give us a hand here, OEI6, they're going to go and have a look along Ormiston Road, which is one of the roads that backs onto the back of the land here, and just see that if these boys were heading that direction where we think they were heading, that they may pop out on that road somewhere.
The boys have been drinking, so could be lost in dense bush. Comms calls for Eagle to return.
The 2 that we're looking for, they've actually run further into farmland.
Did they take off when we were there?
Yep.
Okay.
I guess there's a safety concern now. Bit of alcohol. It is getting cold out here. It's certainly cold down the bottom there. And if we're lucky, we've got Eagle coming back.
We don't know what kind of clothes they're wearing. We don't know if they're falling into one of the creeks because they're intoxicated. They're not in any trouble.
Maybe not with police, but Mum might be a different story. And that might be why, 3 hours later, the boys are still hiding.
They couldn't find anyone that wanted to be found. I think we have to call this one quits for tonight. We've got 4 kids that need to be returned home. We'll have to revisit this tomorrow.
The boys eventually emerged cold and hungry to face their angry mum, and the battered seagull was finally put out of its misery. Next on 111. Firefighters battled one of Auckland's biggest blazes in 40 years. Police get stuck in the middle of a nasty domestic. And a young man goes on a rampage vandalising his neighbour's cars.
It's going to be mad as.